authoritarian, theocratic scumbags that run Iran and subjugate their own people and have no legitimacy at all. The number one thing they want, Tom, is to stay in power. They do not want a wider conflict because their hold on power is very tenuous to begin with. So what they want is they want to look tough and act tough, but they really don't want to have an all-out fight. So I think Israel had the right to do it. I think it was the correct move. Because listen, if somebody doesn't hit back on Iran, they're going to continue to do this stuff. I mean, the litany of things that they've already done. If there's one village and they keep shelling another village and there's no consequences, they're never going to stop because they are evil at their core.
We still have not seen the reinstituting of the sanctions and that kind of maximum pressure campaign that was administered by the Trump administration, by the Biden administration. In these waning days of the campaign for president, is that something that you think that Republicans are going to be continuing to pressure the Biden-Harris administration to do?
I think President Trump is going to say, you know what, there's consequences for your actions. There should be consequences when you're the largest sponsor, international sponsor of terror in the world. And when I'm president again, President Trump saying this, of course, that there will be that, because this regime, the best English they understand is a gun to the face. It's sad and it's sorry, but totalitarian regimes respond to strength. They attack weakness and they retreat from strength.
Congressman Pat Fallon of the great state of Texas, thank you so much for being with us this evening for our special coverage.
Tom.
Moving over now to Congressman Rich McCormick of Georgia, also on the House Armed Services Committee and the House Foreign Affairs Committee. The IDF is now closely monitoring responses from Iran, Iraq, Yemen, Syria, and Lebanon, preparing for a possible full spectrum of retaliatory actions. Are you concerned about a wider war here?
Of course I am in a very real way, but thank you to Israel for actually acting before you have a nuclear power. These guys have, as Patrick Fallon just mentioned, sponsored terror throughout the world. They're even in the Western Hemisphere. These guys have literally supported Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis. They've fired on American ships with Iranian weapons. They're literally killing Americans on American bases overseas. We had 3 Georgians died. And what did Biden say? Oh, they're going to pay for their crimes. They've done nothing. No sanctions, no strikes, no nothing. You remember when Reagan was president? What did we do? We smacked Libya for doing much, much less. Remember when Trump was president? What did he do? He smacked Qasem Soleimani and showed them that there is consequences. What consequences are going to come to bear from this administration? I think Harris and Biden have shown extremely weak foreign policy, maybe some of the worst foreign policy I've ever seen in my life. Look what happened in Afghanistan. I'm an Afghani veteran, and I can tell you it's embarrassing.
The IDF has confirmed that the operation focused strictly on military targets. They steered clear of nuclear and oil facilities to prevent potentially an escalation or a wider conflict. Do you think that that was the right, not to second guess the Israelis and what they're doing here, but should this be the first wave, or should this be the period kind of at the end of the sentence?
Anybody who studied warfare from an upper level understands Clausewitzian warfare, that you cannot have your gloves on and win a war. You can't. Limited warfare does not work. It didn't work in Vietnam. It certainly didn't work in Iraq and Afghanistan, so it took our gloves off and had surge warfare. You can't expect anybody in Ukraine or Israel to win a war by doing limited warfare. It just makes it draw out longer. The American public will wear out. The Israeli public will wear out if you draw on a war. End it. Do overwhelming force and get it over with. People understand that. Both the good and the bad understand winning a war.
When it comes to Israel and how they have responded since the October 7th massacre, I mean, you go and you take a look at what they've done in just the last month and a half with Nasrallah. Nasrallah, shouldn't the United States have led on taking out Nasrallah and Hezbollah? And shouldn't the United States be also participating in trying to take out the Houthis and some of these other proxy groups that have they've been killing people indiscriminately, including Americans, for decades?
American lives, and we've done nothing. Let that sink in. We're the opposite of the Teddy Roosevelt nation we once knew of, speaking softly and carrying a big stick. We speak really loud and act like we actually care. but we don't do anything. And it's embarrassing, quite frankly. Why have the most powerful military in the world to do nothing? We stand for nothing. We don't scare anybody. We have no intimidation worldwide. And I'm not a guy who wants war. I don't want war. But you want to stay out of war? Show strength. You show weakness, it invites war. Yeah. This horrible foreign policy is literally, in my opinion, the reason we're at war in Ukraine and Israel, because nobody respects the United States anymore, because we're all talk, no action. Shame on us. We are the big Satan. Israel is the little Satan. You don't think it's coming to us? Watch. We are part of this world organization that, whether we want to or not, is going to come to our doorstep unless we flex every once in a while.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to put it, is to flex every once in a while. That's called strategic deterrence, and that is a policy that both Obama and Biden-Harris have really abrogated 12 of the last 16 years. And of course, all of our enemies have gotten a lot stronger as a result of that. Congressman McCormick, thank you very much for being with us this evening.
Always a pleasure. Semper Fi.
Semper Fi. And so, as night becomes day in Iran, we will learn much more about these attacks. Up next, we'll hear from Newsmax foreign policy analyst Waleed Phares, and later, American military analysts to break down the ramifications of these strikes not only on the region, but on America as well. Don't go away.
Earned. Paul R. Lawrence has written the book every veteran should own, Veterans Benefits for You. This step-by-step guide breaks down what you need to know, from financial compensation and disabilities to information for dependents and parents. This book is a must-read for all servicemen and women. Get your free copy today with our special offer. Call the number on your screen or go online to order.
This right here is confidence in a bottle.
It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face. And what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes. And I did this to my father. We were at home, so we applied it to his under eye bags, and let me tell you, we were so excited. In under 10 minutes, they visibly disappeared from view, and now it is literally part of both of our daily routines. And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles.
At our $14.95 price, it's the best way to try Plexiderm and see it work after your first application. Call the number on your screen.
Call 800-316-6394.
Are you getting everything from Medicare you deserve? You need Medicare for You. It reveals how to maximize benefits while improving your health care. Medicare for You shows you how to reduce costs, improve coverage, get procedures approved, and avoid 4 big mistakes and scams. Make sure Medicare works for you. Get Medicare for You at bookstores or see the free offer. Go online now or call today. Your health is too important to wait.
I was exhausted all the time, and I just didn't feel like myself. And then came the weight gain. I found out I was like millions of Americans whose thyroid gland wasn't functioning like it was supposed to. And that's why I started taking Actilin, a premium nutritional supplement. Actilin was created by renowned physician Dr. David Brownstein, formulated with 17 powerful ingredients to specifically support your thyroid function, adrenal health, and metabolism. And now, you can get a free bottle of Actilin with our special offer. Just pay a small shipping and handling charge. Plus, receive Dr. Brownstein's free special report, A Doctor's Guide to a Healthy Thyroid. If you're experiencing loss of energy, cold hands and feet, dry skin, weight gain, or joint pain, Actilin may be right for you. Don't wait. Act now. Get your free trial bottle of Actilin, valued at $39.95.
Striking back against Iran this evening. We have some new information in from the Washington Post just moments ago, stating, according to individuals who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss the sensitive plans, that the attacks are expected to continue for several more hours, hitting particularly missile manufacturing facilities and aerial defense sites. Again, more military assets and precision military targeting on the part of Israel against Iran in this historic attack. We are joined now by Newsmax foreign policy analyst Waleed Phares. Waleed, this was a big assault, the largest ever on the part of Israel. 2,000 miles, 2,000 kilometers in terms of the range. Your reaction to this move this evening?
Indeed, this is a major development, Tom, and basically the Israelis have been preparing themselves for it, and it's indeed a very far location, much farther than England to Berlin or to Germany. So this is something big. The Israelis have targeted, when we look at the map of what they targeted so far in the first wave, because there could be other waves coming. But that first target basically is, number one, the ballistic missiles. They're going to take opportunity to take out some of the ballistic missiles that are actually targeting Israel. Number two, the anti-aircraft system, they are probing it, they are testing it. If we all look at what happened, it's a circle around Tehran, and they have been trying to target that. But the third one, the most important, that may be a changing force in this conflict, is the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard. They did not hit the entire system, but they hit a few of those, and that has a political reason, not just a military security, which is to show the Iranian public that their oppressors can be also targeted.
It's very interesting what you said about the fact that they're trying to test the defenses around these sites and around Tehran in a way that, of course, they haven't done before. Let's bring in Amir Farkavar. He is the Senate chairman of the National Iranian Congress. He also joins us. Let's get your reaction, Amir, to what we've seen tonight. And again, it's something that we have never seen before.
Thank you for having me. First of all, let's congratulate all Iranian people because they are all happy. You know, it's totally different story. When Iranian regime have been attacking Israel, the Israeli government just asked the people to just be careful and made sure that nobody will be hurt. And the Iranian side, it was totally different story. The people have been on the roof of their buildings and watching and enjoying and asking Israel, please attack Supreme Leader's palace. It's the photo of Supreme Leader's palace in Pastor area in Tehran. All over social media, Iranian social media, the people are asking, please kill him, kill the Supreme Leader. And that's very interesting. That's historic. 140 Israeli fighter jets attacks at the same time, the different side of IRGC in Tehran, in Karaj, in Shiraz, in Kermanshah, in Abadan, in different cities all over the country. That was amazing. None of those fighter jets had any issues, but the IRGC had a major damage tonight. And the most interesting part is not any single casualties of the civilians, the Iranians. And the Iranian really trusted Israeli army, and Israelis, they have done a great job. It's as my great friend Waleed Phares said, Dr. Phares said, it's the first wave, and it will be continued until 5 a.m. in Tehran. From 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. still they were attacking, and it will be continued.
Amir, let me toss it back over to Waleed. Waleed, I'd like you to respond to Amir because, you know, again, Amir's focus is on, okay, giving the people of Iran sort of the courage to overthrow this regime. The fact that they were hit very decisively, but with very precision weapons to protect the civilians tonight, and it demonstrates that that the IRGC can be hit, that the leadership can be hit. Does this give some encouragement to some of these revolutionaries that could potentially overthrow the Ayatollah? Do you see some momentum coming out of this?
100%. There was a debate over the past few weeks, if we all recall, here in Washington and in some other capitals around the world about what should Israel target And we heard voices saying, oh, we should target the nuclear project, structure, we should target the oil industry. And I rose in Congress and elsewhere, and I said, no, you go against the force that is oppressing the Iranian people. Just look at what happened in the southern suburb in Beirut, where Hezbollah's headquarters were targeted. You would see one building going down, no civilians, nobody, and just the targeted commanders who are in charge of the artillery of the missiles. Same thing, probably.
Yeah.
We don't know. We'll see tomorrow could and have been happening in Iran as well.
All right. Amir Walid, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And we're going to be going over now to Brigadier General Blaine Holt and former Undersecretary of Defense and former Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Robert Wilkie. General, I'm going to go to you first, all right? The Secretary outranks you, but I'm going to start with you. Why? Because we're dealing with airplanes. You were an Air Force general, and this was a big attack involving over 100 aircraft, including potentially an F-35 stealth fighter, refueling tankers, 2,000 kilometers, very, very wide radius here. Talk to us about what you know from your sources about how this came together and the kind of firepower that the Israelis have brought to bear here.
Yeah, well, the Israelis, day after day, they prove that there is still this thing called the art of military warfare, the profession of arms, and this air campaign is by the book, by the numbers, absolutely perfectly orchestrated. 24 tankers involved that I can see on screen, and then the refueling, and then the F-35s coming to bear. The Russians probably are waking up to some very, very hard realities that their S-400 missile defense system is really not seeing anything. It's very blind. And right now, what the Israelis have done in wave number one is essentially blinded Iran. They're nearly defenseless there now. The second wave, getting after production, that actually hurts Russia's European war machine, with drone electronics being produced in Shiraz. And so just getting after number by number by number, and we're going to see more. They're not going to stop here. My understanding is we're going to about the weakness of its own regime.
Mr. Secretary, this is not the sort of the pinprick approach that the Iranians took.
In response to months of continuous attacks from the regime in Iran,